I only came out here to say to move your car. I'm jumping the gun and everything else because we running backwards. We was raining all day. I'm trying to keep a little comedy here too because we're a little tense, everybody a little tense and everything. You know what I'm saying? This is our day. This is the day that we remember. This is moving something, something Sarah's not hit it, Queen Mother Goddess. Hit that tone, hit that toe, hit that note so we can sing this song so everybody can understand what Hetty Copper. I dedicate today's festivities to Hetty Copper, the transition elder, the Hemtepi, the high priest of the White and Gold Lotus Temple of Stone Mountain, Georgia. He's represented here today by Uda Ma'akayor, the Lion of the New Dawn, who is right back here. His name is Makakumu Ali Bey. He'll be up here in a minute. He'll be here speaking, but we also are here before the great and prestigious, my elder, the curator, Edmund Barry Gaither, and the museum committee. He will be up to speak to you in a minute. He's going to say, Patal, he's still running his mouth. He can just talk. Okay, but we're going to make sure that everybody understands why you're here. We're going to give you your cosmic Naga swagger, and you're going to be able to identify this Naga swagger. Okay, this cosmic Naga swagger. You're going to be able to identify it scientifically, mathematically, in which you're going to be able to triangulate, because if you're not triangulating, you're not talking our story, you're not talking my art. Our story is my art. It's not somebody shooting something from the hip, and that 10 weeks later, 10 years later, it doesn't work anymore. Our story works. Our story has existed for millions and millions of years. This is the song that's dedicated to our being here today. It's called Ubin Something, Something Cyrus Rising, Everybody Rise. And I'd like to introduce also, to give a few words. Hey! This is Udama Kayor, the Lion of the New Dawn, Makakubu Ali Bey, and he is of the White and Gold Lotus Temple of Stone Mountain, Georgia, the Shrine of Amen Ra. Everybody gotta learn this note. Everybody rise, everybody rise, rise for something, something's rising. Everybody rise, everybody rise, rise for something, something's rising. Everyone should know their past. Everyone should know they don't know nothing. And they just keep running. Everyone should know their past. Everyone should know they don't know nothing. And they just keep running. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't got no other. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't got no other. Everybody ride. Everybody. This ain't a funeral. This is New Year. I know on December 31st, your brother's up there. Ah! Ah! Thank you, guys. This is your story. Rise for something. Something's rising. Now everybody should know their past. Everybody should know when you don't know nothing. And you just keep running. Everybody should know their past. Everybody should know when you don't know nothing. And you just keep running. Bow your head to Africa. Bend your head down low. She's our mother. You ain't got no other. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You ain't got no other. Yeah! It's number 11, AFNK/FP. Samatawi. Samatawi. Yeah, it's number 11, AFNK/FP. Samatawi. Samatawi. Yeah, it's number 11, AFNK/FP. Samatawi. Samatawi. Oh yeah, everybody, come on people, our people gon' ride. Come on people, our people gon' ride. Come on people, come on everybody, rise on up, rise on up to Ubin something, rise on up. We rise for our story, that came out from us. We can work today at the Museum of the National Center of American Art. We don't be walking around, boxing and walking around in front of each eternal presence of Big Head, most affectionately known, and the Royal Burial Chamber of Mississippi sponsor. People, oh yes, oh people, what is your name, Queen Mother? Okay, say it again. Lulu. Okay, how old are you? 6. Ruben something science, right? Do you know about Pa Nata Apu Pamaat? Can you say that? Pa Nata Papuat. Onk was dejet. Ak was duchet. Onk uja seneb. Ak uja seneb. Uben. Napikir. Panebu. Peruma Adi. And that means what? Rising always in divine excellence. Ma'at. Every day. All day. Every day. All day. Every day. All day. Thank you, Queen Mother. All right. Give a hand round of applause for the Queen Mother, guys. Everybody give a great round of applause. Dua, who the ma ke yo. Okay, so right now at this particular time, I want to take out one second, Udama Keyor. I'd like to present the man of the hour who made all this possible. Not only is it Ali Muhammad, who spent all day, all night. Now, we're gonna go get Barry up here first, Ali, okay? Okay. But he's the man, Ali Muhammad, from the Imperial Kingdom of Nubia and Nubia Geographic and Nuba Market, who made all this possible. He had 2 events yesterday. He had tents all over. He came over here today, last night, this morning in the rain, to make sure that this place was comfortable enough for us to present our New Year's celebration. We're gonna have a moment for you in a second. First of all, I want to introduce everybody to the man of the hour, who has held this building down for secureness for us for 50 years. 50 years with no help. But right now he has the help of the community. He has our help. We are here to support Edmund Barry Gaither, who is the curator of the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists here at 300 Walnut Ave. And I want, without further ado, Patal's going to shut up. And we're going to bring Barry Gaither up so that he can speak to you. And I want everybody to give him a round of applause, please.
Welcome, and what could be better than celebrating and arising? You know, we all come from the earth. What could be better? Is that better? Yeah. All right, than celebrating and arising. We come from the earth, and from the earth we rise. We stand on the earth, and with the help of God and the inspiration of the heavens, we lift towards it and we rise. We look at the moon, at the stars, at the cosmos, and it all demonstrates that there is divine order, and that if we can get in alignment, we can rise. I'm pleased to be responsible for the museum here at the National Center of Afro-American Artists, and our commitment, the thing that has kept us focused for more than half a century is to tell our story from our point of view. There are many stories, and all of God's children have stories to tell, which have a validity in the lived experience of those folk. But we have a particular heritage, a particular lineage that reaches back to the beginning of time. And though this story is fundamental and old and rich, it is not always appreciated for its truth and its wisdom. And if you want to make a story that matters, that has the strength and integrity to withstand the winds, you have to invest in making the place from which it can be proclaimed. You can complain as much as you like about other places that don't tell the truth as you see it, but if you really want to tell the truth as you see it, you have to make a platform for that to happen. And you have to sustain that platform so that you own the words that you're pushing forth into the world. We've striven to try to begin to make that for ourselves as sons and daughters of the Black world time immemorial, to make a place that we can say is ours and from which we can speak the truth that captures our perspective on the reality of life and ethics and philosophy and morality and beauty and all of the things that we value. So our opportunity to host this celebration of the rising is our commitment to being a platform from which we can prevail in the world, being a platform to which we can direct our children and our progeny to say, there is the light to be followed. Let us go and support it. Now, I would be less than truthful if I didn't say this has been an Herculean effort. And affording a space, even a space with lots of needs, has been an expense. And we have a history of not really supporting the things that we need the most. It's much easier to complain about what other people don't do and how some doors are closed in your face than it is to erect a temple and control your own doors. So I appeal to you to support the kind of effort that we represent, not we alone, but we in the community of institutions that sustain the community to which we belong. Support it so that it can serve you. Support it so that you can call it to accountability. And then we will be on the road to making a tomorrow worthy of those who survived the Middle Passage, and on raw creativity and will, created a culture in the Americas so strong that there is no culture in the world today unimpacted by the genius of those survivors. So let us honor them by distilling from their essence the strong platform on which tomorrow must stand. So with that, let's get on with this afternoon.
Yes.
To whom am I delivering this? Okay. All right.
I've been trying to get a drink all this time. I finally got the drink. Here's the mic. Okay. Moving something, something, Cyrus rising, with repentance in heaven. Remember, everybody, we're here to celebrate our divine birthright. Everybody should be smiling. Act like this is December 31st. You know, woo, down in Times Square, acting like a fool, turning up your clothes. You know what's going on. This is our story now. Show some love. I'm trying to connect you to the cosmic forces that allow you love, guidance, and protection through the daily experiences upon matter. So I'm going to break this down for you scientifically, mathematically, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective, country spirituality, and with astrology and astronomy. And then we have our medunetta for the resonance, for the sounds, for the frequencies, because you don't need me. I'm only here, I'm a messenger. I'm only here to help you remember. I don't want you to remember. I want you to remember, because when you remember, as soon as you say ra, light comes in the side of your eye. Pew, pew. That's enlightenment. See, this is what they keep you from seeing. They tell you, oh, that's the liquid that's solidified. It becomes the crystal and the light that turns the prism, and it makes you spark in the side of your eye. No, no, no. This is enlightenment. Before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days in every week. Anytime you're ready, I'm just running my, you know me. Okay, you ready? I'll set it up there. All right. No, you gotta stop me. You gotta reel me in because you know me. We got also we have some Kofa here, the national spokesman from the conscious community, the global spokesman of the conscious community. We're gonna have him in here from Mbaba TV. Every time fire. Oh yeah, Baba TV is here. He comes and interviews us all the time. He comes to Boston. We got C4, Curtis Booker, Sounds and Notebooks of Sounds. And we also have Transatlantic Production. Clemson Brown, Tap Video is in the house today. So we are covered. We got Baba TV, Every Time Fire. We got C4, and we got Clemson Brown, Transatlantic Production, Tap Video. And I would like to now take this time out without further ado to introduce you to Udama Keyor, Lions of the New Dawn, Makakuvu Ali Bey. And he is also with me for the last 15 years to bring about a unification of the Samatawi of the calendar. This is the problem. The problem is with, everybody, make sure you watch your text here, make sure we don't fly away there. We want to make sure that we understand that there are 9 days in a week under the solar cycle lunar calendar. But if you just use the lunar cycle calendar, then it's 10 days in a week. That means there's 30 days in a month. That means there's 3 seasons with 4 months, 120, 30, 30, 30 is 120, 120, 120, comes out to 360. Then, of course, you have to add the 5 Apagamo days in Greek, which are the Rempu. But we're going to let Uruma Keyor break this down. I want to introduce the world and to the family here, to my brother Uruma Keyor, Makakubu Ali Bey of the Zulu Nation. Duasi.
Udama Keyor. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say, during the chair, thank the Most High. Udama Keyor is not my name. My name is Makakubu Ali Bey. I say that because Udama Keyor is not even a word. It's a vibratory frequency. And that's important. That's important. As this day dawned upon us, as Sapdet, Uben Sapdet rising over the Giza Plain, the Sirius star, you know it, Sirius XM radio, the Greeks called it. Sapdet is the Medu chair term. Medu means words, and the chair means spirit. That's why they taught you that language they taught us to call hieroglyphics, because they didn't want us to know the true meaning of it. Because if you know the true meaning of the so-called hieroglyphics, the Medu chair, Medu means words and the chair means spirit. So if you know the true meaning of it, you know that means word of the creator. I'm not going to say God because God is a Germanic word. And if you look at the world today, the creator creates in divine order. The creator creates in divine order. The world is in chaos. The world is in chaos. It's seeking deeper into chaos. So what God is it that rules this world that's in chaos? I want to talk to you about the year, because the year is very significant. As you sit here right now, there's a Kushite kinetic, cosmological, mathematical equation unfolding in the heavens. Unfolding in the heavens. I'm going to say that again because you know mathematics. And algebra teaches you equations. So one side equals the other side. And I'm going to break that down for you. If you know anything about Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark said when the Ptolemies, you know who the Ptolemies are, right? The Greeks came into Kemet, they outlawed Ma'at. If you're confused about Ma'at, walk into the temple and go into the Wasket Ma'ati, the double halls of truth, which is the judgment chamber. Ma'at is judgment, depicted as a woman. I'm going to say that again. Depicted as a woman, but it's the weighing of the heart against the feather of truth. Ma'at is not a woman. She's depicted as a woman because a woman has compassion. And judgment is an act of compassion by the Most High. So as I said, there's a Cushite, Kemetic, cosmological equation unfolding right now in the heavens. And Dr. John Henry Clark said when the Ptolemies came into Kemet, they outlawed Ma'at. Now think about that for a moment, folks. The Greeks come in, the Ptolemies come in, and they outlawed a cosmological construct of creation. What kind of arrogance is that? How you going to outlaw something of the creator? But you know what happened? Our people accepted it. So don't think that our enslavement began in 1619. Our enslavement began when our people accepted calling our language hieroglyphics. It began when our people accepted that Ma'at was outlawed, which is over 2,000 years ago. That's why you think it's 2010 right now. It ain't. It ain't 2010 or our time construct. Why? Because that star subject, which is rising right now, has been an eternal occurrence. It's been happening. Our people began to notice it 6,261 years ago. And that's a very important number because I'm going to take you to the Cushite Kemetic cosmic birth cycle of the Ma'at Dawn. I'm going to say that again. The Cushite Kemetic cosmic birth cycle of the Ma'at Dawn. I'm going to ask you this question. How many months does it take for a woman after she's conceived to bring forth a child? How many months? 9 months, right? Which means 9 represent born. And I just told you I'm going to take you to the Cushite Kemetic cosmic birth cycle of the Ma'at Dawn based upon Sabdet rising going from 6,261. But before I do that, I'm going to give you the other side of the equation. I don't want to give you the answer to the equation if you don't know the problem. After the Greeks come in and outlaw Ma'at, remember Ma'at is a spiritual construct of creation, judgment of the soul. Judgment of the soul. You see, death is an illusion. It's an illusion, people. Death is the name of the doorway that your soul goes through when it departs from the body. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you, folks. Death is an illusion. Why? Because, and I'm going to use a quote from the book of Revelation, which I don't normally quote the Bible, but there are things that I use from the Bible. And this particular quote is attributed to so-called Jesus. I say so-called Jesus because Jesus is the person why you think it's 2021. You think it's 2021 because they told you Jesus was born, and when Jesus was born, they changed the time construct. Who did that? The Romans. So now you got two criminals, two spiritual criminals. that got you believing in everything today. Everything today. And I said that don't think our imprisonment, our enslavement began in 1619. It didn't. Our enslavement began over 2,000 years ago. When the Ptolemies outlawed Ma'at, the judgment of the soul, not a woman. She's depicted as a woman because judgment gives you a chance to plead your case. That's why they use it to represent the criminal justice system. So you can plead your case before a criminal judge that's going to put you in jail anyway. Anyway, you standing there talking about your honor. He has no honor. There's nothing honorable about that. So now, after the Ptolemies outlawed Ma'at, the Romans come in and change the time. 2021, y'all. You think it's the 21st century. No. 2021 represents the third millennium, the beginning of the third millennium on the Greco-Roman calendar. A millennium is 1,000 years. 6,261 represents the seventh millennium on the Kushite Kemetic time construct. Folks, our people are in the seventh millennium. Forget about 2021 and the 21st century. Forget about that because that's part of our enslavement. Our enslavement began over 2,000 years ago. Over 2,000 years ago. You ain't been enslaved since 1619. Our people, us and in, we and in, have been enslaved for over 2,000 years. Anytime you accept your oppressor's definition of who you are, you already accepted your enslavement. Now I'm going to talk to you about freedom. I'm not finished with the mathematical equation. I ain't forget about it. I got to lay the backstory for you. So when I get to the equation, you understand the mathematics. Because I'm telling you about a cosmological mathematical equation. Now, when I say cosmological, you are thinking cosmological with a C. No. When I say Kushite, Kemetic, K, cosmological, K. Why? Because Tao saying, the so-called Milky Way galaxy is traveling through a heavenly arc known as Cosmos with the K. Cosmos means all that is known and unknown shall be sufficiently proven. That's why things are unfolded as they are right now. That's why things are unfolding right now. Things are being revealed to you from within your spirit, within your consciousness, with the K, y'all, not a C. With the K, because cosmos means all that is known and unknown shall be sufficiently proved. Now, 6,261, let's back it up. Let's back it back. Let's bring it back to 6,258. Let's back it back. 2018 from 2021. You know Ma'at has 42 negative confessions. I'm going to break this down for you folks so you realize what time it is. Teach. So you realize what time it is for real. Teach. Yeah. Okay? You feel that wind? Yeah. Ever wonder where the wind comes from? Ever wonder how the breeze just cool your face? Ever wonder why the sky is blue? Ever ask yourself, what is this place? How many times have you been here before? How many things have you done? Whatever happened to have one more? When is it going to end? Ever wonder why the snowflakes fall? Ever wonder why the creepy bugs crawl? When the birds sing, do you hear good music? Ever wonder what to do? When things go wrong, do you just give up? When trouble comes, do you run and hide? Can you look yourself square in the face? Do you quit or do you finish the race? If ever there was one, now is the time. Do it, baby, I'm getting mine. Go ahead, have some fun. Cause you remember, baby, you're the one. This ain't happening. This ain't real. I'm not a thief and I don't steal. I put my faith to God and don't you see? Don't you see? Don't you see? Don't you see with your ucha, your mind's eye? Forget about these eyes. Look from your mind's eye, your ucha. So now, 6,261 back to 6,258, going forward to 6,300. Remember, 6 and 3 is 9. So if today is 6,261, 39 years from now, it's going to be 6,300. 6 and 3 is 9. I'm talking about the Kushite Kemetic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn, the dawn of truth. 6,300 corresponds on the Greco-Roman calendar with 2060, if you know anything about numerology. 6 and 3 is 9, born. 2 and 8, 2 and 6 is 8. Build and destroy. 2060 is the time of destruction on the Greco-Roman calendar. The vibratory frequency of the Kushite Kemetic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn, 6,300, is a unification, a building in the 7th millennium. 6,300 is 700 years from the beginning of the 8th millennium. Do not be fooled what time it is, folks. Do not be fooled. Because that was the beginning of our enslavement. We got fooled. We got fooled, and we accepted being the fool. We accepted being the fool. Running around talking about, I'm an African American. How you get to be an African American? Listen to the propaganda narrative of what an African American is. Now I'm gonna say that again. The propaganda narrative. Propaganda narrative is that African American is a descendant of slaves. Really? Really? Were the people slaves or were they enslaved? Slave is not an identity. Slave is not an ethnic group. So if slave is not an identity and slave is not an ethnic group, how can African American be an identity? How can African American be an ethnic group? Ain't no such thing as an African American. You call yourself an African American walking around with the enslaver's last name talking about I'm free. I'm free. How you free when your name denotes you as property? Your name means that you belong to the person that owned the land that your ancestors were working when they was in chains. You ain't free. Freedom, you know what freedom is? Freedom is a compound word. You say, I'm free. America, I'm free in America. Freedom. Freedom is a compound word. It means free dominion. Free dominion. So now, I'm going to tell you what that means. You see these young children? You see them running around in space? They are experiencing free dominion. Now you go outside that wall, your mama going to say, come back over here. Look out for them cars. You ain't free. You ain't free. Now, I'm gonna end with this because I'm not finished telling you what time it is. I'm not finished. Y'all think Patal can talk? He coming to grab this mic now. Be back. Stay back. I got this mic and I got this stick. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna share this with you folks because y'all still ain't figured out what time it is. You know, we talk about the prophecies in the Bible, talking about the prophecies in Islam. How many people know the prophecy from this land? The prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman over 2,000 years ago. It says, beware the birth of the white buffalo. Okay? Now, this land of Maxim, I'm a moral people. I'm a Mori, I'm a Z. I'm a diplomatic, a royal ambassador for the Numai theocratic Moorish kingdom. Look up Numai, look up Numidia, look up Numai in the Gambia. Numai is an ancient people, an ancient people, as you are an ancient people. Now, the prophecy of the white buffalo says this. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. You can look it up. Google it. Ain't nothing Makakubu's telling you right now you can't Google. You can Google Cosmo. Google it. Don't even trust me. I don't even trust me sometimes. So I don't expect you to trust me blind. You don't even know me. Sometimes I don't even know myself. But this is the reality. The prophecy of the white buffalo says this. It was a woman, a Wankan Tonka, a spiritual woman. She was a Wankan Tonka because the two hunters that were sent out on the fourth day to find game, because they couldn't find game for the Lakota Sioux, the seven sacred flames that met in the plains out in Dakota over 2,000 years ago. Hundreds of thousands of our ancestors, Nubian Algonquin, Ukachak people, not Indian, not Indian. Ain't no such thing as an Indian unless you're from East India. How you gonna call yourself an Indian when Columbus was lost? And you gonna call yourself the name that a man that was lost called you? That means you lost too. So now, the prophecy of the birth of the white buffalo says this: beware the birth of the white buffalo. For the white buffalo is a sign that mankind has until the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century to redeem himself, before the great purification. I'm gonna cite that date to you again. The 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. That's the prophecy that mankind has before the great purification to redeem himself. So January 21st was the day after the inauguration. The day after the inauguration to redeem himself before the great purification. Before the great purification. So now you have 42 years from 6,258 to 6,300. You have 42 years from 2018 to 2060. And then you have the Ma'at quadrant situated in the pentagram decade, which is the first 5 decades of any new millennium. So we're in the beginning of the third millennium on the Greco-Roman calendar. So I broke that down for you folks so that vibratory frequency of Udama Akiyur can permeate through you, and some of you will begin to feel it tonight. Some of you will begin to feel it next week, next year, but be assured, Udama Akiyur, you will feel it just like the wind you feel now. Do in the chair, Udama Akiyur, Makakubu Ali Obey. You can look me up on YouTube. I'm with the World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television Network, and I appreciate you. And some of the drummers who are here, I got my drums in the back. We can crank some rhythm. Udama Akiyur.